Hey everybody, it's Commander Clyde. We're back again. Here we're looking at the update notes for the Hero of Hawaii 9.10 update. Today with Maui. Of course, we saw him in the reveal previously. But we will still run through the abilities here. Alright, let's go through here's the passive. Can I say this? Manai, oh gosh. Manai, wait, Manai Kalani. Hawaiian is hard. We're gonna just say that. When an enemy god is hard crowd controlled near Maui, they are marked for the duration of the crowd control and for an additional 2 seconds afterward. If Maui basic attacks an enemy with this mark, his next basic attack becomes enhanced and all gods hit by it are pulled to him. Passive has a 10-second cooldown. Now we've seen all this, so we're gonna look at what this stuff does, damage and cooldown wise, because we've already seen mechanically what it does in the reveal. But anyway, he charges it. His hook, spins it up, it can go farther the longer he charges, grabs a target, he can pull it toward. When he refires, hits a god, pulls it toward him, reels in, it's crippling and vortexing CC toward himself for 1.5 seconds. Hook damage is 100 to 360 plus 50%. That is pretty high damage. It is a skill shot, so fair, but that's pretty high damage anyway. Yeah, 55 unit range, 60 to 80 cost. Mana cooldown is 16 down to 14. Strength, mystical Ulua, and he throws the fish. The Ulua made of magical water that explodes on landing, giving all ally gods within 35 units protections and movement speed for 5 seconds. Also creates a pillar for 10 seconds. If ally god stands on this water for 1 second, a bubble forms around them and carries them to Maui's location, as long as they are within the 110 aura radius. And there you go. And then the protections are 5 to 25, movement speed is 4 to 20%, cost 55 to 75, cooldown 14 down to 10 seconds. The solar swing, Maui leaps into the air, latches hook onto a ray of sunlight and swings from it. Swings back and forth before he leaps from the rope and slams his hook into the ground, damaging and stunning all enemy gods in the area. While he swings, Maui can reactivate this ability any time to leap early. And damage is 110 to 335 plus 60%. Radius 17.5, costs 70 to 90, cooldown 16 seconds. Now there are other gods that have like only 3 abilities that deal damage and then a pure support ability like this. His regular abilities deal more than some other gods do, which I suppose is fine because again, this one is kind of difficult to hit, so that makes up for it. But there is a lot of base damage going on here with this stuff. Anyway, landfall, ultimate Maui selects an area, becomes CC immune and leaps into the air. He throws his hook at the target area and pulls up an island, knocking all enemies in the area up in the air, and pulls them in front of himself. The island remains on the battleground, blocking player movement for 4 seconds. Maui can reactivate this ability to destroy it early. Knock up damage 275 up to 675 plus 80%. For your power, knockup area is 22.5 units. Island area is 18. Cost 100. Cooldown 90 seconds. Moving on. Here are the skins for the boy plus an extra one here that is themed. Got an addition to the RWBY skin set here with the Cinderfall Morgan Le Fay. Got Toon Terracilla, Cyberwolf Scotty, Plague Pertura, Honey Bunny, Bastet, Dark Magic Aphrodite, Bloody Moon Nox, Blazing Tormentor Sylvanas, and Darkest Night Xbalanque with bonus Primordial Paragon Guan Yu Spy Master Kali, and Rumbly Chibi Thor. Alright, there's the schedule, of course, and then Smite Night, which we don't care about. Reaping event. Here's some stuff you get, which is the skins from up there. Quality of life updated CC bar icons. Okay, so Roots have this, Mesmerize has this. There you go. That's all you need to know. Banish now uses the stun icon. Madness now uses the taunt icon. Disorient now uses the stun icon. Slippery Surface now uses the fear icon. And Knock Up Knockback use nothing. Cool. Bugs. Don't care. Game modes. Balance. New Conquest map is definitely causing some shifts in the meta. Early game objective in the duo lane is leading to more early aggression and value. We are making this camp a little harder to clear. Also nerfing the reward to make sure that it isn't causing too much snowballing. Additionally, we are adjusting Gold Fury and Pyromancer to be easier to secure earlier in the game. These base stat nerfs will make them deal less damage and die faster so that players can attempt more unique plays and with early game advantages instead of waiting for clear team fight wipes. This will also come at a cost of a small golden XP loss to the base value of these objectives, with a heavier penalty on Pyromancer. Currently, the Pyromancer is often killed when a team knows that their opponent is going to secure Gold Fury. We want this trade-off to favor the Gold Fury killing team more than it currently does. I mean, it is the Gold Fury, you know. It should technically probably give you more gold and stuff. Anyway, Naga increase base protection from 6 to 12, base magical protection from 2 to 6, increase health scaling from plus 145 to plus 175 every 3 minutes, increase physical power scaling from 4 to 6 every 3 minutes. Interceptor has been reduced from 20 to 60, per shot to 15 to 55. Gold for you decrease base team gold reward from 150 to 130. Decrease base health from 3,500 to 3,000. Decrease base physical magical protection from 35 to 30. Decrease base magical power from 40 to 25. That was kind of necessary because this made early Gold Furies really awkward sometimes. Increase magical power scaling though from plus 2 to plus 3 every minute. And then the Oni Fury, same stuff as these last two. Pyro gets decreased base team gold from 100 to 70, decreased base team XP from 100 to 50, decreased base health from 2750 to 2500. So they dropped the base gold for an objective that's worth less gold, and now they've made, so they decreased the team reward by 20, by 10 gold more on it, and release the XP by even more. So yeah, that's makes that trade-off much favor the Gold Fury much more, because now that's a lot of gold, man, because now it's 60 gold per teammate more valuable. Oh, anyway, items. Purification beads are a core counter, one of Smite's strongest mechanics. Over the years, we have investigated ways to make the relic feel more responsive and user-friendly. Players are now able to use beads anytime they are alive, including during the pre- and post-fire of abilities. Wow. During least Estus and other channeled abilities, during untargetable or other immunities. This is going to have bugs probably, because the function of it is you could only use beads when, you know, in certain, well, it wasn't in certain scenarios. Most of the time you could use it, but in stuff like untargetable, during abilities, and during things like leaps and dashes, you couldn't use it because the game couldn't read the input while you were in the middle of another animation or whatever the stuff is. So I guess they got rid of that. I do expect bugs because that's a big coding change. So we'll see what happens there. Warlock Staff now only provides percent pin once it's fully evolved. Fair. Book of Thoth now provides 10 magical penetration when evolved for no reason. Just because they wanted it to be consistent with Warlock Staff, I guess, because it's also stacking. But it's giving flat pin, which I don't see the point really when there's already so much flat pin. Because and then you get both of these if you're double stacking. I really don't see the point of that. Charon's coin is being increased from 80 to 90 magical power because no one is building this. Silver branch is getting nerfed. Even though at current builds it's not actually being used a whole lot already, so this nerf might be ill-timed a little bit. It was very powerful, yeah, when it was first buffed, but I don't know. This last patch, no, it hasn't been. Its popularity has gone down anyway, so. Devourer's Gauntlet now gives 10 pin when it's evolved because what we want stacking items to have pin now for some reason. Okay. Heartseeker, big buff, decreased cost from 2900 to 2750, decrease the physical power requirement to reach the maximum 6% bonus damage from 400 to 350 power. Heartward Amulet, all the amulets getting magical protection aura stepped up from 15 to 20 protections. Nemean, decreased time to gain stacks from 10 to 8 because no one builds this. Bancroft's Claw getting nerfed because it has been pretty hot in builds on a lot of gods right now. Particularly, yeah, Hades and also Damage Guardians that decide to build this. So decrease shield from 1% of your max HP per hit from 0.75%. Manticore Spike getting predictably nerfed higher gold because it's too much value and adjust to the visual effects for better clarity. Okay. And Fabulous Soups increased cost as well, not quite as much, and then the same thing. Camazot's Screech buff, okay, not much. Thor, this is a big time. It is time to lift the hammer on Thor once more. There is a lot of love for Thor in Smite, but he has mostly been relegated to a pocket pick, rarely seeing a presence in the greater meta. I feel like this stuff has been telegraphed big time because they do these things, and then the stuff is like reflected in SPL before it's even there. Because like Thor suddenly got more playability, and now they're buffing him again, and now they're buffing him. It's like you almost knew the buff was coming because people had started playing him more. I don't know. This Tectonic Rift will now deal damage. This amount of damage is low, but it will be able to trigger items and gives Thor a lot more flexibility and ability to go all in or just poke. You've given him an extra Hydra hit, though, with that. That's... Well, no, wait. That works just on using the ability. Excuse me. Why are you just giving him extra damage? This damage will also work on the empowered attack from his ultimate for an extra jolt of energy. I mean, it's cool, but we're doing the Athena taunt treatment. We've given an ability that does a lot damage for no reason. I mean, it's a player created wall plus a stun. Like, why are we doing it? Why are we doing this, bro? Makes any sense? Decrease the mana cost on Mjolnir's attunement 70 to 90, down to 55 to 75. That's a big one. Down 15 across the board. Anvil of Dawn, the bonus effects of this ability will trigger on the damage added to Tectonic Rift. Cool. Ganesh is getting buffed, I guess, because he has seen a bit of SPL play, but has been struggling across the rest of the game, even in high MR ranked. Ohm is getting decreased self-slow while firing this ability from 20 to 15%. Remove obstacles, decrease cooldown from 15 to 12 seconds. That's a fine buff. Self-slow. I don't really know why there's a self-slow on this ability, but that's probably fair for balancing anyway. Because having him move at full speed on a channeled silence might be a little unfair. It removed obstacle. Yeah. It's a good change because it's only his real form of hard CC he has. I mean, the silence technically is, I think, but all it is silence. This actually holds somebody locks them in place. So, since it's the only ability he has that type of crowd control, that's probably a good change. Athena is getting decreased cooldown on Confound from 18 seconds to 18 down to 16. Defender of Olympus, Athena now gains 35% damage mitigation while channeling. Increase the damage mitigation on the target ally from 30 to 35%. Back into the meta. Does this bring her back to jungle? But yeah, she has been jungling a lot. Not supporting as much, even though she's really good at that, you know? It makes sense. Dash slow, taunt, you know, and then the ult to help keep people alive, you know? I mean, like, plus it's still a lot of damage, which is good on a support anyway, you know? So you'd think people would want to play her, but they just don't a lot. Here's the boy. Hercules has been missing his workouts. Where that DR has had some effect on him, but we want to be especially hesitant in adding too much CC back. Well, yeah, that's fair. He's got a knock up and a knockback stun thing, so like, you know, don't go nuts on this guy. Have a sneeze. Okay. Anyway, general, increased base attack speed per level from 0.8 to 0.1. Strength from pain, increased base physical power per stack from 2 to 4. Let's go. The big man's coming. He doesn't need crowd control. He's gonna run at you, run you down, and beat you to death. that's, that's all this is. This is funny. Making strength from pain too strong, though, I think that's a dangerous thing. They've doubled it, man. What are you doing, guys? Crazy. Tier chance change stance's ability now provides 50% of the benefits while in the opposing stance in addition to current bonuses. Now adds 0 to 25 physical power to defense stance. Now adds 0 up to 25 protections in assault stance. Oh, interesting. It's kind of a hard buff. So you're just like, oh, we've just given him more power and more protection. Like you just want people to put more points in change stance. I don't, why? You're still gonna max your 1-2 first because the damage and clear. A Shiva Emblazoned Sweep increased movement speed buff from 20 to 25% in Bliss Stance. Increased protection and reduction debuff from 4 to 20 to 5 to 25 in Destruction Stance. I kind of forget that the abilities do different things depending on the stance of his passive. That is probably something I've completely forgotten he does. Damaru's Tempo. Increased attack speed buff in Bliss Stance and the attack speed debuff and Destruction Stance from this ability from 25 to 30%. Big time if you know how to manage your passive correctly. Morgan Le Fay. Decreased cooldown from 13 to 12. On Sigil Mastery, Shroud of... Oh, they've just reverted. Okay. Soul, more revert, Stellar Burst, increased magical power scaling from 35 to 40% per hit. Supernova, increased magical power scaling from 45 to 50 per hit. So they're just reverting this on gods that have gotten less popular. And Janus, Threshold, decreased cooldown from 15 to 13 seconds. Through space and time, increased magical power scaling from 65 to 80% of your magical power. I guess they thought people were bored. Oh, help him deal more reasonable damage in the higher TTK. Okay. So time to kill increased, but we didn't increase the ability that does big damage to reflect the health change. But they did that on purpose, though, I think, because back then they didn't want people to insta die from an ability. But maybe with Janus, that's just kind of part of the flair. If you can hit this on somebody at range, they better die. Hey, on her, increased base damage from 90 to 350. On Impale from 105 to 365. Increased physical power scaling from 75 to 80% because a lot of hunters are better than him. So, Charybdis should probably be getting nerfed actually because she's way too popular in my opinion. Hate this god because let's just have untargetability so easily available in our kit. And then buff the damage on the guy. Spike shot increased splinter damage from 10 to 30 to 20 to 40. Cap size increased base damage from 80 to 280 to 90 to 290. Then Ishtar, last one here, getting buffs, of course, because this happens a lot with new gods. Increased duration on imbue arrows from 5 to 6 seconds. Increased damage on storm shot from 80 to 85% of Ishtar's basic attack damage. And increased bonus damage on strike shot from 80 to 30 to 14 to 30. Then rolling thunder increased base damage from 40 to 120 to 50 to 150. We should probably see why they are doing this. They don't want to rush buffs too soon. Data has shown her to be slightly on the lower end for win percent, although her popularity is some of the strongest data we have seen from a new god in years. We are looking to address some primary community discussion topics with these buffs. Okay. And anyway, voice actor people, thanks everybody. And then we're done with that. Like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed our review of the 9.10 Hero of Hawaii patch notes. Like I already said, like and subscribe, didn't I? Leave a comment down below if you want. As always, check out the links down in the description. And I will see you guys next time for some more Smite. Have a good one.